This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Hello. Please listen to this important message. Your student loan has been flagged for forgiveness. We are able to remove your payments today.
It is the 25th of April, 2023. My name is Corey Winfield, and this is the 217 Recovery Podcast from the North Studio today. And joining me in studio, special guest is Adam. Adam, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Well, it's going good, and then I realized that I didn't have you situated with the microphone yet.
There.
So now that's better.
Is this the proper distance?
Probably.
Okay.
But if you're uncomfortable, we can move things.
We'll try this.
Okay.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, so you're doing well. That's good. And you're a part of 217 Recovery now.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to start a meeting.
Yep.
Here at the Recovery Center, and I think that's awesome. And you were kind of playing with some names, which I like.
Yeah.
Up and Adam, which is great.
Right.
And we were talking quite a bit earlier today about how I had a name when Ryan Beckman was on, and a part of 217 Recovery, and he was around, and he lost a bet to me, and then he had to name his meeting what I told him to. And if you go back to the archives of our podcast, you can go back and listen to that bet being made. I can't remember what he lost, but his meeting was called the Get Hard meeting.
Right.
And not a lot of people in Boyne City appreciated that. We would put flyers up almost daily because people would take them down because it would be like, get hard this Tuesday at 7, come get hard. It was great. Like, we had such a good time with it. And it was a normal NA meeting that he hosted. And at the beginning of it, he would say, welcome to the Tuesday night Get Hard meeting. And that was it. It was a normal meeting. But we just had so much fun with the name. And I think sometimes people forget that we're in recovery, man. Like, we're allowed to have fun.
Right.
Some of the people will say, but you're making a mockery of it, Winfield. You're having too much fun. You're disrespecting people because you're naming stuff because you think it's funny. And I go, you should talk to your therapist about that. And you made a point earlier when we were kind of talking about this, is like, change the game up. Like, what's wrong with having fun?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, when I was in active addiction, I mean, everything was negative and dark, and, we have to change our thinking. And I mean, that's part of it. Like, I was going to say, if I would have heard that meeting, that would have been the first meeting I would have wanted to go to. I mean, and like you said, it's a name, and say it gets you in the door. It's the message you receive when you get there that is important, so why not get people in the door however you can, what I'm saying? Like, make it fun. I mean, it's not like we're going to be playing games and whatnot, but let's have a smile on your face. Let's be happy when we leave the meeting, let's be in a better spirit.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. When you leave that meeting, do you feel better?
Yeah. And
your brain is taking notes when you do. And then when a situation comes up you're not prepared for, or it catches you sideways, the first thing that hits you is, I need to go to a meeting, because your brain has already been taking notes. And hey, I feel better after I go to a meeting.
Yep.
After I get something off my chest. If you wanted to call it just the couple awesome fun guys in AA, you can call it that, like, it's a name.
Yep.
And here at 217 Recovery, we like to have fun. And sometimes we forget about it, even in our day-to-day. It can be monotonous. It could be boring. It could be too stressful. Like, our days are like roller coasters, and we never know what the next one's going to bring, or who's going to call and say, hey, we need this, or hey, can you help us with this? I have no idea. And I like that, but also at the same time, it's scary some days, like, I remember when it was just me, and I'd have a ride every single day, and it was almost too much. And then I'd have a week with no rides whatsoever. And I'm like, ooh, I kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't. Cause I'm like, oh man, like, we really need to be helping people. And you can't just ride up to the block and be like, hey man, you want to go treatment?
Right.
Jump in, buddy.
Right.
I guess they did that in Florida before, but I think a lot of people got in trouble. But
you got to be able to jump on it when you have that opportunity, and you got to be flexible. You never know when that's going to come up.
No, you don't. And just be as prepared as you can be when the time comes to help out a fellow person in recovery. And that's That's something that I really found that helped me when I was taking people to treatment, is just understanding that people are at different levels, and I have a chance to talk to somebody the entire time that they're going to treatment. And I found it very rewarding for me.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, they would be asking questions like, what about this? What about that? How do you do this? How do you do that? And, you know, to give them honest advice, and they don't owe me anything. I don't owe them anything. You know, there's no reason for me to lie to them.
Yep.
And they can lie to me about, oh no, I'm never doing it again. And okay, whatever, man. You know, it's not about not doing it again. It's about learning something and building on that.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. And we, you know, just giving somebody a ride, it gives us that opportunity to, you know, I know when I was going through it, I could hear something a million times, and then there was just one time that someone said it the right way, and it actually resonated with me, and it stuck, you know. And you just never know in a 3.5 hour conversation, one thing you might say might help them take another step, you know. And I know things that people have said to me on the rides. I mean, you know, I'll take those things with me as well. I mean, like you said, it helps me as much as it helps them. And those conversations are the building block, I think, of the recovery community. I mean, it takes each other, you know what I mean? You can't not just anybody, I think, can, you know, help in the way that a fellow in recovery can, you know. And yeah, it's awesome to be able to do that every week. You know,
it is, you know. And sometimes you're driving, and you know, sometimes you don't feel like driving, but other times it's just beautiful. You know, you're like, it's a beautiful day. Turn the radio up, you know. And I used to think a lot when I would do my driving. I would just be thinking, like, how do I do this? Or what do we need to do that? We need to do this. And sometimes it wasn't about work. Sometimes it was about my marriage, or sometimes it was about, you know, if I was beefing with my mom, or, you know, like, what's my sister up to? And what about my brother? You know, like, how can I be a better big brother to him? And just little things like that, you know, when you're alone in the car and just in your own space, and people call me and I would not answer it. Like, this is my time right now, man.
Call you when I get home. I don't have signal right now.
Yeah. And especially like if you take somebody to say, if we leave with them and we have to drive them like in the morning, like 3.5 hours away, and you're talking the whole time, you know, pretty much, because it's this conversation, and it's a real natural conversation that you have with someone. So then you drop them off, and you kind of want that peace and quiet, because you just talk for 3.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, holy cow.
You can ruminate on it too, you know, and, you know.
Yeah, and you just kind of think, man, I hope that person makes it.
Right.
And sometimes we're taking people and they're not ready. And you can kind of get that vibe from them when they say, well, I'm just not going to drive anymore. I'm just not going to get a driver's license. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
Like, well, the trouble's not you getting pulled over drunk. I mean, that is some trouble, yes.
Yeah, you can put off some stuff that way.
Yeah, the drunk driving thing, but like, do you understand what it's doing to your body? Like, it's just not healthy.
Right.
Oh no, I only binge drink on the weekends. It's like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if drinking ever did anything good in my life, then I'd be like, well, you might not want to do that because you've done so much awesome stuff when you were drunk.
Right.
But how many people can say that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. If that was our experience, you know, if I had any of that left, you know, I could understand maybe still, you know, but that's the thing for me. I had to work out every possibility of every way that maybe I could drink, or maybe I could do it this way. You know, because I basically would think about that way until I did it, you know what I mean? And so today I don't have any ways left, you know what I mean? And I don't know, like you hope that that's not what everybody has to do, you know, but for me, that's what I had to do, you know? So anytime if there was anything I said that, oh, maybe I can do this, and I can't, you know, there's no drinking that works for me.
And to look at it a different way too is to think like I've drank enough for probably 80 people in my lifetime, and yeah, still it was never good for me. It never did anything good for me. Nope. The best thing that happened to me when I was drinking was the last time when I got arrested. You know, like that's really what saved my ass. And you kind of had the same experience. You didn't get a DUI or anything like that, but it was some consequences that happened to you. And I think by having those consequences, it makes you more, I don't want to say accountable, but more, I mean, maybe accountable, more accountable to the situation and to changing, you know, more, it's not accountable. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
To me, it made it all, especially my situation, it made it all feel real, more real. Because the going to jail thing was always one of my yets. You know, I hadn't done it yet. You know, and I knew that, you know, you keep going, you keep doing what you're doing, it's inevitable. You know, and so for me, that's kind of what it was. It was more the realistic of all that stuff can happen. You know, I had already had lost the job I had forever, lost the house, lost the car, broke up family. You know, I did all that. And, but the one thing I kept saying, I haven't gone to jail yet, you know? And so I had to do it. I had to try it out, you know? No, but it's all part of the big bag that got me here, you know. It's little pieces. And, you know, to me, that was, it wasn't my last straw because, you know, I lived in my car for a little while afterwards. I tried maintaining different ways for a little bit, you know. And then when that didn't work, you know, I went back with what works. I called Corey and I went back to treatment. And, you know, since then it's been good. And, you know, I don't think the jail thing was my final straw. I think the night I had before I went to treatment was my final straw. And, yeah, the reality caught up to me more when I went to jail because that was something that I think, you know, some of us think at different times, oh, maybe I'm not like them in this way or that, you know, and that was the one thing that I thought, you know, that I couldn't relate to and I couldn't this or that, you know, and I guess, you know what I went to jail for, it was kind of a weird way that it happened and everything. But you know, some people say, oh, I can't believe you went to jail for that or something, you know, and it was like, man, all the things I could have went to jail for,
right.
You know, that's the reality. You know, that's what I thought about 3 days on the floor is, you know, this could have been me just waiting for my cell because I killed somebody. I mean, it happens so much, and it's, you know, and it again, that would have been a yet for me. You know what I mean? Like, luckily I didn't get to that point, and, you know, but yeah,
somebody told me, I can't remember if it was a lawyer or what, but they were saying that you could have killed somebody and not even remember doing it.
Right.
Like straight up blacked out drunk. Like right. you could have done that and you could have been in here for 25, 30 years and you didn't even remember doing it. Like you have no memory whatsoever. And I used to think that people were lying when they'd be like, man, I blacked out. I'm like, man, you just cheated on your wife, man. Like that's right. Just man up, bro.
Easy way out.
Yeah. Oh, I blacked out. But then when I stopped drinking and started trying to be sober, and I would piece together a couple months at a time, and then I would go back drinking again, that's when the blackouts would happen, when I started having that time in between, because when we go back out and use again, it's just as hard, if not harder, than we did before.
Right.
And a lot of people with other substances, they do the same thing. You know, that's why, another reason why, you know, heroin and stuff is so dangerous, because people think, oh, I can go back using the same amount.
Right.
But your tolerance is different now. And we see a half gallon and we go, that should work for tonight. Right. You know, like I wouldn't, if I'm going to go back out, I'm not going to get a beer. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get a pint. You know, that's not going to work. I need to get destroyed.
Yep. And that's what we do.
The half gallon would work. And that's what I would do. And so those blackouts would come, and at the end it was really bad. And, you know, that's when I kind of came to in the car, and I just was like, wait, what? I was in my parking spot, so I really didn't think I drove. I thought the cops had framed me and they were just out to get me. And
right.
They even smashed my headlight in my car. I was like, man, they did a really good job. They even put a green like strip right. paint down the side of it. Like they're
good at this.
Made it look like I hit a dumpster or something. Those
right.
cops, man, they go far with their stuff.
They don't have anything better to do, right?
Yeah. But then when it was after that, I got out of jail and I was still like not sure I even drove. And then I drank again. And I remember seeing the Brady Bunch, and they would always ask us, are you hallucinating? You ever hallucinated? I'm like, how would I know? Right. Well, I could see the Brady Bunch in my house. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is what they're talking about. If you hallucinate, I was like, this is pretty cool though.
Right.
I'm not even a Brady Bunch guy. I don't know, man. Like it could have been so much cooler. Right. I got Baywatch women running through my house. Right. Now I got Brady Bunch. Like, what the hell is up with that? Can't even have cool hallucinations. Like
Corey's got Alice issues.
Or it could have been worse. Like, like people on meth are like, oh my God, it's Freddy Krueger, like, So it wasn't that bad. But yeah, it was crazy. And I remember thinking that, and that's the last thing I remember. And I wake up to a text from my mom asking when I was going to pay my rent. I was like, I'll pay it on Monday. I started drinking, I think, on a Friday. And I was thinking maybe it was Saturday or Sunday, whatever. And she's like, honey, it's Wednesday. And I'm like, what? Right. And I look around, there's all these empty half gallons, which I don't remember buying.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not a big walker.
Right.
Like, did I walk to the liquor store? It was pretty close, but I don't know.
Right.
That's scary. And that's when it all kind of hit me like, no, I probably did drive and I just don't remember it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And thank God, that my story didn't turn out like it could have. And, thank God that I did have some consequences and I had to do probation for a year. And that's when I just decided, okay, we got to have a different approach here. Yep. The whole I hate where my life's at thing has to end at some point, and yep. I have the power to do that. And I think going to treatment, being sentenced to go into whatever Riverwood and Benton Harbor told me to do, which you need to go to treatment long term, 90 days to a year. And by having to do that 90 days, which I only did 60, it gave me a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do in my life and how I could change things and what needed to be done. Because when you're in a place, the same place, like say, oh, I'm just going to quit drinking, and you stay in your house, there's memories there, and they will haunt you. But if you leave those, go to a different place, it really gives you a chance to be free and to clear your mind a little bit. Yeah. At least that's how I felt about it. Yeah. So it was refreshing to go to a treatment center I had never been. Yeah. That was not a class reunion for me. Right. And to just chill out, and then to start again up here in Northern Michigan where I could go and nobody knows who I am. And this is great. Not that I was that bad of a person, but nobody was asking me about the radio station or what happened here, what happened there. Hey, you want to go get a drink?
Yeah, that's a good point.
None of that. And I wasn't running away from it, but it was refreshing. And I noticed that immediately when sober living. It's like, okay, I'm living with a bunch of dudes, but you know what? That's okay. Right. Yeah. People to hang out with.
Oh yeah. And it's to go off what you were saying too, is that routine, like when I've kind of got the family side of it going on where I'm trying to keep the family together, then get it back together, that type thing, and so for me, I put off the sober living for a couple times, because it was like, oh, we're doing good. I'm going to go back home, put this together, and, that's the stuff that I didn't realize is I needed to build a new routine, because I went back home and I had the stuff in my head of what I should do and everything, but I hadn't put it in motion yet, and going back home, I just got right back in the same old routine and all that. So when I went to sober living, that's what I used it for is, I got to find a routine for Adam that when he goes home, this is the things that these are the things that have been helping me stay sober. This is what I have to implement in my life. And it wasn't anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously with probation, I had to go to a meeting every day. And that wasn't an issue or anything. And, but the stuff for myself was, like we were talking, driving and music is my meditation. That's what I say, and just like you were talking about, that's where I sort everything out in my head. If you give me an hour, half hour of music in my car, I can straighten myself right back out, and it's a little thing, but it's huge for me. And I've actually, I hear it from other people that, it's common, that's, but that's the opportunities we have. That's also why I like mowing my lawn. I like snow blowing, you know what I mean? Like I like putting on the headphones, getting in my own head And I can't, I'm still working on meditation because I love meditation. I like it, but it's a practice thing, and I don't do it enough. It's that, sitting in the silence is harder for me than the listening to music and, just going through my thoughts that way. But yeah, and so, yeah, with sober living, it was, I had to change a routine, and that was huge. It was a big deal. So.
Yeah, and you don't have to live there forever. Some people think that that's what they're going to do. They're going to go to a place and live there forever. Some places won't let you live there forever. Some places will. Yeah. I know Nathan's house where I went, you can stay there forever as long as you're paying your sober living expenses or whatever. You're sober. It's not called rent. He calls it sober living. It's rent. Yeah, pay rent. Right. As long as you're paying your rent and hitting your meetings and doing the things you're supposed to do, you can stay there forever, man. As long as you stay clean. Like a lot of people that I'll meet, and you're going with me tonight to the treatment center here to talk. I'll meet some people in there, and they'll say how bad they want it, and then you say, well, these other sober living homes are full, but I know one in Boyne City, but they don't play, and you're not going to be sneaky and do. Oh no, man. Well, I think I'm just going to go live with my girl again. They changed their tune real quick, and it's like, well, I thought you really wanted this. You were just feeding me this line of BS, and that's fine. I fed enough people the BS line too, but it's because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Right. And if something seemed hard, or if I was in danger of getting kicked out of a place, and I wouldn't want to go there. And especially if I knew I wasn't done, and I still thought, well, I'm going to do it my way. Once I get out of here, I'm going to give it a couple months, and then I'll start drinking on Saturdays again. Yeah. Which never worked.
Yeah. I don't need this level of whatever.
No.
Yeah.
And you had said something earlier too about, and I'm sure it was the very early stages with you as well, when you first went to treatment, and you were a drinker, as am I, or was. I thought I was better than the other people. Like, that was a real thing. I really thought, like, oh, these junkie people, and I don't know if that's from the movies that I picked that up. I don't know. The rest of society kind of feels that way sometimes too. Mm-hmm. But I had that attitude until I really started getting to know these people. And then I realized that I was just an opportunity away from being hooked on what they're hooked on.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're drunk, you're like, sure, I'll try it. At least I was. Sure, was that cocaine? Sure, let's try it. Yep. Oh, meth? Sure, let's try it. Right. Heroin? Sure, let's try it. Right. I did it all. And every time I was drunk.
Right.
So, but early on, though, I really thought, like, oh, okay. And I remember a family member saying too, like, oh, at least you're not as bad as them. And I was like, I am. I might be a little worse.
Right.
But it's a funny thing. And you remember Jamie, he was in treatment with us. Adam and I went to treatment together. I was your mentor.
Mentor.
And then they gave me another guy, which was crazy. And you were like, I'm number one. So Adam went by number one, and the other guy, he's hit me up like a month ago.
Yeah, for some reason they wanted Corey mentoring a bunch of people. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And then they're telling me that they're making me leave before my 90 days because I'm not taking it serious. I'm having too much fun. That was an interesting call to my probation officer.
So I was like, the best thing about that place.
Yeah, and it was great because my probation officer was just like, okay. She's like, wait, you're supposed to be there 90 days. I said, yeah, they're letting me go after 60. She's like, why? I said, because I'm doing so good. She's like, okay, well, you're out on Monday. You need to be here Tuesday, 9 a.m. I said, okay. And I was ready at that time, too. And everything happens for a reason. My pride was hurt, sure. Right. Because I was really offended because I was taking it serious, But yes, I was having fun. Mm-hmm. It was a nice mixture of the two. But, yeah, and I don't remember what I was going to. Oh, Jamie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jamie, when he came into treatment, and it was my first day because I got on like a Friday night into that treatment center, and Saturday morning they had like a group that everybody meets together. And I went in there, and the guy that was my roommate at that time was Jamie, and I didn't really get a chance to meet him yet, but he stands up and he says, "Oh, you MFers bringing your drugs up here, you need to go back downstate." See, he thought that all the drugs in Petoskey and Traverse City and northern Michigan were brought by people from Battle Creek. And like everybody was like, who's this old dude? And but it just showed you like his mentality. And then he figured out that he was, you know, like hooked on pills that he was getting from the VA. Right. And he's like, oh wait, that's opioid. It's like, wait, so you're withdrawing from alcohol and opioids, buddy? Like,
right.
It was crazy though. And then like his tune changed, and he's got a couple years clean now, and he went through some hard times. And, you know, I think he's still having his, you know, issues just with life like everybody else, but he's doing it sober, and he realizes that that's a better way to go. And I saw him, I think it's Easter, he posted a picture on Facebook of him and his family, you know, his daughter, his boys, and he's just like smiling, you know, and it's like, man, I haven't seen a picture like that of Jamie in like forever, you know, but
those are the moments, man. Yeah,
he's enjoying what life is really about.
Yeah,
but you get lost in that addiction sometimes, and it's hard to pull yourself out. And that's why it's addiction, and that's why it's so hard. Is it jumps on your brain, and it just tells you this is what we need to live.
Right.
And if I went up to somebody and said you can't eat anymore, they would say, "What the hell? Like, what do you mean? Right. You can't eat anymore, man? That's the same as telling me I can't drink anymore. Right. Like, that's crazy." Yeah. And I might go, oh, okay, yeah. Well, if you eat it again, I'm gonna throw you in jail. Okay, he's gone. Let's eat. Right. You know, and you become that way. You become that sneaky because you just figure, well, that's stupid. My brain is telling me I have to, and it's not. Yeah. And the brain's not in there telling you have to drink now, but it is in different little ways.
It is tricky.
It's your voice saying it's all right, man. Yeah. Like you deserve this, buddy. Yeah. It's almost like the good angel and the bad or the devil. Yep. You know, that's on your shoulder, and he's just like, hey man, you can do it this time. Yep. And 98, 99 times out of 100, the angel wins, but it's just that one time that devil or whatever gets in your head, and you start putting it together, and you start making it even a better idea. Well, hell, we might get two of them.
Well, and that's the thing, like, you know, I always just looked at it. I mean, I used to think the devil and angel type thing too, but you know, I just kind of think of it now too as my addiction talking to me. Like, it knows what buttons to push with me, you know, and I have to like think of it as something separate like that too, because it is. I mean, if you know, it's like, oh, my shoulder's really hurting, you know, oh, I got a toothache. That I can't really fix a toothache. Maybe some whiskey, you know. Yeah. And then the obvious stuff. Oh, I got kicked out. Oh, I lost my job. Oh, this person's mad at me. You know, my dog got run over. I mean, and that's the thing. Like it'll find if you give it, you know, give it an inch. I mean, it knows where to go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's it's you. So there's no escaping it. And so, yeah, to me, it's all training. Yeah, you know, it's like no excuses.
So hard to come back, and because you can't stop, at least with ours and other people probably the same. It's not as easy to stop as you thought it was. And there's what your brain told you, oh, you'll just drink Saturday, buddy. It's fine. But we can't, and you can't turn it off. And then we wrecked everything else again. And the shame and guilt, you know, that stuff kicks in real quick too. Mm-hmm. And then you feel like just a liar and you're a fake, and you just let everybody down again.
Yep. So why not just keep drinking?
Yeah, because then you don't care, because you get the F-its. And then you can be like, F it. If, you know, they don't like it, then they don't need to be around me. Yep. Because this is who I am. What I do. Yep. Yeah, this is me, man. This is the best me they're ever going to F them all. Yep. Which is not us. It's not It's not who we are.
And that's the thing. We needed it, but it's like we needed to give ourselves the time to see it though too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I had to prove it to myself again, you know, and I couldn't do it in a couple months or, you know, 6 months. Like, you know, it took some time, and it was worth every minute of it, but it took some time. And everybody's got a different length, different way, different path. It's all worth it though.
There's somebody here. Whoa. Told you we're in the North Studio. Who is that?
It's Adam.
Hey, Adam Newth, how are you?
Hello.
Adam Newth is at the North Studio. How's it going, buddy?
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
What are you doing?
I was going to talk to you about some business, but I can wait.
Oh. Well, we're going to talk some business now. Adam Newth, you going to say hi to the people in the world, on the earth?
Hello, people of the earth.
Thank you. Adam will be on soon. We talked about that today, but he's going to be gone for a minute. But Tuesday, a week from today.
Week from today.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Adam Newth on the program. Can't
I'll
wait.
let you get back with the other.
Oh, we're wrapping it up,
this
man. Where are you going, Adam?
We're wrapping it up.
Oh, okay.
Good, man.
Thanks for listening. Now we're
This
going
is
to do
my inaugural one anyways. Just going to have to erase it anyway.
No.
it takes time to edit it. I don't feel like it. So. No, thanks for listening, though. And if you don't have the app, and we'll continue our serious talk about all that serious stuff we were talking about at another date and time. But yeah, get the app. There's going to be meetings on there that you can join us on. You can join Adam's meeting through the app, through our website. So do get that. It's free. It's in the Apple Play Store, the Apple Store, the Google Play Store. That's how it works. So check it out and sign up for a free shirt as well. 217recovery.com.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. We hope you come back for our next episode.